Hello to all of my friends attending World Without Genocide's 10th anniversary benefit gala. I think you know I would much rather be there with you in person, but there's just a few things going on in Washington right now, and I'm just honored to join you via video. I'd like to acknowledge Executive Director Ellen Kennedy and today's keynote speaker, Eli Rosenbaum, Director of Human Rights Enforcement Strategy and Policy at the Department of Justice. Thank you both for your work to end genocide and hold people accountable for their crimes. Most of all, I want to thank everyone who's attending today's event. World Without Genocide wouldn't accomplish its mission to protect innocent people around the world, fight racism and prejudice, advocate for the prosecution of perpetrators, and remember those whose lives and cultures have been lost without the support of generous supporters like you. You are helping people that you may never meet, people we have already lost, but people whose spirit lives on because of your good work. Since 2005, World Without Genocide has been shining a light on some of the darkest crimes against humanity. This work is difficult. It's not easy to confront human suffering. It would be comforting to think that humanity has evolved over the past century, but the tide of conflict around the globe remains that as a threat of genocide, of mass killing based on ethnicity and religion. It's not something that has been consigned to the history books. That's why it's so important that we acknowledge the past, that we not allow historic crimes to be hidden because they're not convenient to acknowledge today. This is essential to our ability to hold the moral high ground today against atrocities around the world, be they in Syria or the Central African Republic. That's why I'm honored to co-sponsor a resolution in the Senate that recognizes and commemorates the 100th anniversary of the Armenian genocide this year. Recognizing and remembering, as World Without Genocide does every day, is crucial because humanity can't forget. In the timeless words of Elie Wiesel, for the dead and the living, we must bear witness. 2 years ago, I visited the Zatri refugee camp in Jordan, the largest refugee camp for those fleeing the conflict in Syria. In that refugee camp in Jordan, we heard of the atrocities taking place in Syria that one refugee told me, one refugee who was there with part of her family. She told me what she had seen happen to her family and to her friends and her neighbors would make stones cry. I remember meeting a young boy named Yarob. He was only 11 years old, but he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. His father had been shot and badly injured before escaping to Jordan, and so it was up to him to take care of his family. Every day, Yarob would stand in the line for food and water, and every day he would carry what he could hold in his hands back to his family. At 11 years old, he'd seen more suffering and injustice than most people will see in their entire lifetimes, and his is just one of millions of tragic stories that would make stones cry. I'm honored to represent a state that has a long and storied history of advocating on behalf of those in distress or in need, and World Without Genocide has been at the forefront of this effort. Thank you for all you do to help end genocide, and congratulations on your first 10 years. There's a lot more work to be done, and I know you're up to it. Thank you.